Hi, this is Margo. This is Sunday afternoon, July the 26th, 2020. I hope everyone is doing as well as possible. And this is going to be my weekly methane and sea ice update for YouTube. And I'm going to try and keep it shorter today. I'm not feeling great, but I want to get this done and up for everyone. So, I'm not going to do a whole climate roundup and showing earthquakes and sulfur dioxide and ozone and all of that. So, I'm going to start with, I have some pictures ready. We're going to start with the NOAA methane data that I've been tracking since last year, since March of 2019. Tracking the 477/469 millibar reading, and here's the data for yesterday, the 25th. This was the Met-1 satellite in the morning. The mean or average was 1,895 parts per billion, and the high reading was 2333. In the afternoon, the mean was 1898, and the high reading was 2299. On the Met-2 satellite in the morning, the mean was 1879, and the high reading was 2301. So here's the spreadsheet where I'm tracking all of this. So for the 25th, here are the numbers that I just called off and added up and divided by 4 and come up with an average for yesterday of 1887.75 parts per billion, which shows an increase over the week before of 1.5 parts per billion. And so we can see the line going up a little bit here right at the end. And so we're kind of waiting to see if this is really going to start zooming up or what. It had gone up a lot earlier in the year, in February, and then we had some valleys, and then typically methane rises from about midsummer, end of June, first part of July, and starts going up until about mid-October, and then it goes down. That's typical, but we're in no man's land, and we are higher than the high that we recorded last year, and each year it gets higher. The high reading was 1885.75 parts per billion on October the 12th. And so we're 2 parts per billion higher than that already. So here it was last year, and here we are here. And so we're watching that. So here's what it did this week on the daily data. I'm tracking this daily and do pretty much almost daily reports for my Subscribe members. So if you like to see daily reports and postings and things, I encourage you to check out my Subscribe page and consider joining our small community over there, and the link is in the description box below. So here we were last Saturday the 18th at 1886.25, and we the weekly change was a decrease of 0.5, but that day it had actually gone up from the day before, 1.25, and then on Sunday it went down 0.25. Monday it went down 0.5. Tuesday went down 0.75. Then Wednesday it went up 1.25. Thursday it went up 1.25. Friday 1.25. And then Saturday it went down 0.75. So we had 3 days in a row where it went up 1.25. So each. So in 3 days it'd gone up 3.75, but then it went back down. So here we are from last Saturday to yesterday. We're showing an increase for this week of 1.5. And since February the 8th, we've gone up 24.5 parts per billion. So that's a huge increase. Now we're going to look at methane on CAMS. This is Copernicus Atmosphere Monitoring Services. They have their Sunday data up for today, and I've pulled up the Arctic view and surface level. So here's the color ledger. So surface level is different than the level I'm tracking on CAMS. That one, it's about 500 HPA, so it's about halfway up in the atmosphere. So here is where we left off on Saturday with this high reading in the Scandinavian area, and this arm moving out across the North Atlantic, and still populating up here in the Kara Sea. And we've had some really high readings over here in Siberia, and moving out across over the ocean here, and these high readings are from the wildfires. Wildfires are burning out of control, and they've been burning for months there. So we've actually got an ozone hole over Siberia now, and high sulfur dioxide reading, and high methane, and high carbon monoxide, formaldehyde, and nitrogen dioxide, all in this area from the fires. So let's run the movie. And so the data is for today, and the forecast runs Monday through Thursday. So we can see popping up a couple of places here on Iceland. We see it streaming out from this area, the Scandinavian area. Still popping up here in the North Sea. We have this problem area in the North Atlantic that it's still pulsating. So we're still seeing some high releases. It keeps pulsating here in the Kara Sea and around Severnae Zemlya, and then streaming out. And it's got a pattern. Usually it dissipates between when it's spewing up, and then it usually has a really sizable release by Tuesday or Wednesday of every week. And we can see here's Wednesday and Thursday. We've got the sizable releases there. So we're seeing these waves of green moving out across the Arctic. We're seeing it come back to life on the Alaska coastline, and in the center part of Alaska. We're seeing the background color higher now all the way across Russia, and a lot of higher readings just filling back up across Russia here, and higher readings coming up back on Canada, and we've got it very high reading on the eastern seaboard of the US, and as it streams out, we can see it streaming out somewhat. Here it comes in the Atlantic there. Now we'll go to the North Pole view. So we're seeing it coming back to life at the UK and in Europe, throughout Europe and Spain and the Mediterranean areas. Here's the Persian Gulf, it's filling back up there. India, we can definitely see it filling up more in India, and it's filling up more in China now. And this is Russia starts here, so we can see it's coming back, filling up all the way up here. So we're in uncharted territory, and you know, every year methane keeps getting higher, and so you just wonder how much of a difference it's going to make with the heating and the atmosphere and everything. And we're definitely seeing hotter temperatures, and you know, more extreme storms and things like that, more extreme weather. Here's the global view. Now we're seeing it really come up around the coastlines here in the Antarctic, and it's streaming. This lighter blue is streaming across, and we're seeing that more further south now. But see these light blue areas where it's popping up? That's the coastline of the Antarctic. And it's still winter time down there, but it is coming up through the sea ice there. Okay, now let's look at 500 HPA. This would be pretty comparable with the same level as what we saw at NOAA, that I'm tracking at NOAA. So we can see the green coming all the way down. This used to be more blue down here, and the greens used to be up higher, but it's all being redistributed around the planet since it's going up. The whole planet is changing, and it's increasing for the whole planet. We see high readings across India and across and up through China, and then this, if we ran the movie, this would be like a wave moving, and it's quite dark here. This is the Kamchatka Peninsula, so this is coming off of Siberia, And then we've got some reds over the Arctic as well. Here's total column. And we can see it's heavily concentrated over China, Asia, this northern part of India, and it seems to be getting, well, it might be getting a little worse here at the Persian Gulf and in this Middle Eastern area, but we're seeing red there now, and reddish orange across northern Africa, and a lot more reddish orange in different areas. And then the next color up will be red on that. So we're going to leave that. Now let's look at sea ice. This is from Climate Reanalyzer today. This is the sea ice and snow cover, and this is, we see a hole opening up here north of Greenland. Let me blow this up. Right here, there's a hole opening up. We've had some high melting there, and we've had high melting going on in this quadrant and on this western side, and you can see the darker color. That's where it's not as concentrated, and it's been melting dramatically this week. Unbelievable. But the coastlines, like the Alaska coast is clear, this Canada coast here is clear, the Baffin Bay is clear, and we still have some on this eastern side of Greenland, but you can see Svalbard is clear, Franz Josef Land is pretty clear, and the Siberia side, the Russia side, is all clear. They could run ships through there. So it's a different pattern this year. So I'm going to go back to last Sunday. This is where we were last Sunday with sea ice, and we still had a little bit left up here in the Chukchi Sea. So I'm just going to click through and you can see the changes since last Sunday. Oh, and this one is the Siberia view, because on the North America view they didn't have the ice up that day. There we go. Now see the hole that opened up there on Wednesday the 22nd. There's a big change there from Thursday to Friday. See? From Thursday, there was still a little ice here. Now look at Friday. That's gone. That was a big melting day. And Saturday, and here it is today, where this hole is opened up. Here's the navy sea ice thickness. This is for today. They ran this on the 24th, and I picked it up off their website for today, where it's projected forward. Let's zoom in. So I've named these quadrants 1, 2, 3, and 4, and here's the color ledger on the right. The aqua is about 2 meters thick. The solid aqua is about 2.25 meters thick, and then when you're going down into the darker aqua, that's about 2 to 1.5 meters thick, and the dark blue is about 1.25 meters thick. The purple is 1 meter thick, and then going down to lavender, and white is just a little skim. That's just where you see that whitish purplish, like whitish lavender. That's just barely there, and that's melting quickly. So we can see it's really melted in around thinning north of Greenland here, and come in a lot on the edges, and it's pulling away from the Greenland coast and the Canadian coast more and more. And Beaufort Sea, this area is melting down now. There's high melt going on there. This is the 30-day model. So they go back 3 weeks with the data and then forecast forward for 1 week. So this is for, let's see, started on July the 3rd. And then the last forecast day is for August the 1st, which is next Saturday. So we'll zoom in on this. So you can see a huge difference in 30 days. At the beginning, the ice was out to the coastlines around here in Siberia. So that is all melted since then, and so going into August, it's going to be not that much left. So here's August the 1st, where it's forecast out, and this is what they're predicting right now. Now there is a storm building, and it's raining over the Arctic right now, but there is a, I don't know if it's going to develop into a cyclone, but it's right here in the Beaufort Sea. And if we have that develop in the next couple of days, that'll tear up that sea ice very quickly. So there's that. So we'll close that out, and now we'll go to the National Snow and Ice Data Center. This is the Sea Ice Index daily, and this is the Arctic View and Blue Marble. And this is the concentration, and the more blue it is, the less concentrated it is. So you can see that relates to what we saw on the Navy website. Here's their chart for the Arctic sea ice extent, and they're not measuring thickness or volume. Here is just the extent, and the dotted line was 2012, and that was the lowest measured on record, and this blue line is this year, and we had been tied with 2012. We've been lower than 2012 this year for most of the year, and then we tied with 2012 in June, and then in July it started taking a nosedive a lot lower than 2012. So we're still at the lowest ever on record there. Now I want to show a couple of things on Climate Reanalyzer. I'm not going to do a big thing. Here's the 2-meter temperature anomaly. So it's still, it's in the red up here on the Siberia coastline, and brown over here over the Kara Sea and Barents Sea. And the Arctic is actually up 2°C higher than normal. And the sea surface temperature anomaly, that's updated to yesterday. And so we can see that the sea surface temperature all around this ice is up to 6°C higher than normal. And all around the world it's high. The northern hemisphere is up 1°C. And so all those, see the Pacific, that looks awful with the blob. Here's the here's precipitation today. So we can see a lot of rain in the Arctic. We can see a big swath coming up here to the west. This is the North Pole, so this is just west of the North Pole, and then another big arm here across the Chukchi Sea. Now I want to show you while I'm here, I know I wasn't going to do that much, but I want to go to hourly forecasts. I want to show you the storm that's building in the Arctic. So this is the global 10-day. I chose the Arctic and precipitation and pressure. So right now, here's the storm. Here is just, it's on the north coast of Alaska, and then it's raining here too. Oh, you hear the thunder? We have a storm coming in. It's also raining up here by it looks like this is just north of the North Pole there. So we can run this. It's a 10-day. We can see what they're predicting it'll do. And the low is in the 996, 997. I mean, that's not real low with the millibars. So it just depends on how high the winds get, and you know how much of a low pressure system it is. 976, 975, and then it starts coming back up. So it may not be a real destructive system. It's just hard to know at this point. And I'm not much of a weather forecaster, so. But we're seeing rain move through here too, up from the Atlantic. So we are going to get rain up there, so it will be melting the sea ice. Definitely. So that's what I wanted to show you there. Now, this is NASA Worldview. This is the sea ice concentration for today. I'm going to turn on the blue marble layer so we don't have the clouds, so we can see exactly what's going on. So the color ledger, it goes from red through the colors of the rainbow down through lavender, and that's the red is the first sign of melting, or pinkish color, and then red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. So we can see today high melting here on this eastern side. This is where the hole is opened up. High melting on the northern side and the west, and here in the Beaufort Sea, and high melting throughout these tributaries as well. So let's go back. So last week was the 19th. So here's where we were on the 19th. So we'll just click through and can see how it's melted this week. Oh, that's not complete. Let's refresh. There we go. Let's try that again. There's the 19th. Here's the 20th. 21st. You see it changes from day to day. 22nd. 23rd. Here's the 24th. 25th. And here's today, the 26th. So that's what we've got, and so the thickest ice is still here, just north of these Canadian islands. So we'll see how much more it melts and how fast. I mean, we've got a couple more months in the melt season. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to turn off blue marble and turn off that, refresh, and just take a peek at the sea ice. Now we're going to be looking through some clouds, just depending. So here's the north coast of Greenland right now. See, it's all broken up there, all the way. Here's Ellesmere Island. It's all broken up there. There's a cloud. These are clouds we're looking through here. And here you can see through the cloud how it's melted there. Here's the Amundsen Gulf. It's clear. We're looking through clouds here. We can see this whole west side of the Arctic along the Canadian coastline and Alaska coastline. Now that's clear. We've got a lot of clouds. That's where the storm is right now. It's raining. These are the fires. This is the smoke from the fires. You see all of that? That's awful. And that's mixing in with the clouds, and there's a lot of sulfur dioxide and stuff. So when it rains down on the Arctic, that's a more toxic mix, and it will melt the sea ice faster too. Isn't that awful? So it's hard to see much. It's really cloudy today. Here is Reanalyzer. Oh, we've got rain. Here's the Volvolov ice cap where it's racing into the ocean. Let's see the ice streaming out. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So, these ice caps are definitely melting. You can see this one. This one's almost gone. The Pioneer ice cap. And, there's the Volvolov where it's streaming into the ocean. It's melted around there. Anyway, there's Novaya. These are all clouds. There's no ice there. Lots of clouds. Here's Greenland. And so on. So I'll keep reporting on all of this. And now I would like to end with a Bible reading. I do believe we are in the end times, and I believe that I've been called to be a watchwoman to warn people about how close we are to the end. And my gift, it seems to be, is, looking at these websites and reporting on them. And I do believe we are very close to the end. And so I've started reading through the prophetic books of the Bible, one chapter at a time. And now we're on Ezekiel and chapter 35 today. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord God, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth, and I will fill his mountains with his slain men. In thy hills and in thy valleys, and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy cities shall not return, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. because thou hast said, These 2 nations and these 2 countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord God, I will even do according to thine anger, and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them. And I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, and that I have heard all thy blasphemies, which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying, They are laid desolate, and they are given us to consume. Thus with your mouth ye have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. Thus saith the Lord God, When the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate. As thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea, even all of it, and they shall know that I am the Lord. Ezekiel chapter 35. So if you haven't gotten right with God and Jesus, I recommend it. I highly recommend it now while you still have a chance. Time is short. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off for now. And I'm praying for everyone. I'm praying for everyone. So thanks for listening. God bless you. Go in peace. I love you all, and I will talk to you soon. Goodbye.